WWE Money in the Bank returns to Chicago. The last time they were there was in 2011 in one of the greatest pay-per-views in WWE history. I am not expecting that whatsoever. I'm expecting a show that's going to be extremely long with a lot of matches that a lot of people don't care about. I think the only two matches that are going to have the most heat on them are the two ladder matches. Everything else, I think, could die in front of this crowd. You have 10 matches in total, one on the pre-show. We'll see what WWE brings us. One spoiler that's kind of been confirmed now. James Ellsworth is backstage, so I expect him to cost Asuka the match and reunite with Carmella. So I got that prediction right, I think. I knew that was going to happen. But right now on the pre-show, you have the Bludgeon Brothers. They're fighting against Gallows and Anderson. I think it's pretty obvious who's going to win this match. So Gallows and Anderson fall short to the Bludgeon Brothers. Of course, the Bludgeon Brothers retain. Not a bad match, but just super predictable. So now on to the main card. The show opened with They started the show with Daniel Bryan and Big Cass, and they had a far, far better match than they had at Backlash. They had a good match here. This was a solid opener. The crowd was into it. Daniel Bryan is the best, arguably the best wrestler in the company. I mean, he's been off for like 3 years, so it took him a while, I think, to get back in his groove, get back in his stride. But when he's able to carry Big Cass to a good match, you know Daniel Bryan's back. Because this was easily the best match Cass has ever had, the best singles match. And I also heard Enzo Amore trashed him in some interviews, but I mean, Cass has probably had better matches that were tag matches in NXT with Enzo, because they had some really fun matches, I remember. But in terms of single match, this was easily his best. Daniel Bryan carries him. Daniel Bryan's awesome. Gets the one, makes Cass tap out. Cass had some bad selling in this. But, you know, I'm happy Daniel Bryan won. He makes him tap out again, so it looks like that feud's over. Even though I think they had a match that was advertised for Extreme Rules. I think that's off. So also worth noting, I guess Booker T mentioned CM Punk on the pre-show, says he got his ass kicked. That boy got his ass kicked when he was talking about crossing over, and Ronda Rousey was crossing over too. I missed that, but I guess that's what happened. So then they had this Kevin Owens and New Day segment. I hated it. I mean, it was just like they wanted to get a pun in for the IHOB controversy. It's like, ugh. So Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn, just a showcase for Bobby Lashley. He was booed, but he got over at the end with some vertical suplexes. It was a fine showcase, nothing much to say. Michael Cole sucks. I mean, I've just been thinking about that. I mean, he's fucking horrible. He has the 3 worst catchphrases. When Seth Rollins came out, I thought to myself, there's 3 catchphrases I hate the most. The big dog, the King Slayer, and it's boss time. All of them just kill them dead whenever they come out. Rollins and Elias, decent match. Elias is okay. Rollins can have a good match with any, but he's probably, I mean, he's might be the superstar of the year so far, in WWE at least. He's just having great matches. This wasn't a great match. Wasn't a match like he had the previous month with Miz, but he had a fine match. It was solid. Rollins gets the win. I didn't like the ending. I thought the ending kind of hurt it, but it sets up a rematch for Extreme Rules. It's pretty obvious they're going to continue that. So the women's Money in the Bank starts. You have Alexa Bliss winning again. You had her in the match. You had Charlotte. You had Ember Moon. You had Sasha Banks, Naomi, Lana, Becky Lynch, and Natalya. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, I hate how they have to prepare for the whole match for a whole week. I was listening to Wrestling Observer, and like reportedly they all got pulled from the house shows and they all went to Orlando to rehearse the match, and it's obvious because they all were all in the right spots, and it was so much better than last year. So it was easily the best women's Money in the Bank they ever had. This blew last year's away. It was a good match. It was solid. It wasn't a great ladder match, but I mean, it was really, really good start. When it's for like the first 10 minutes or something, this is going to be awesome. But then slow down, and then like they did all the crazy spots earlier, then the match slowed down. It was kind of weird how it was booked. I didn't like it how that was booked. I thought they could have done that in reverse. Really, you didn't have the big high stuff. We had like a lot of slams on ladders. It looked kind of nasty. Ember Moon had a good showcase here. Charlotte, of course, got a showcase. Becky Lynch was the babyface everyone wanted to win until the heel Bliss knocked her off the ladder to win. Bliss gets the win. Alexa got a huge pop, though. She was very over. The crowd loved her. She got a huge pop when she came out. Then she got a huge pop when she won. And of course, later when she won the title, she got an even bigger pop. But she was very over here. And probably, another one who was over was Lana. Lana was super over. The crowd really liked Lana. And I'm thinking to myself, are they going to have Lana win this? I'm so sick of Bliss. She's just being shoved down everyone's throat. And I don't like saying that, but I like her. I mean, everyone loves her ass. She has the best ass in the company. Amazing ass. That's why she she's the champ. It's because of her ass and her hair. Blonde hair, bleach blonde, nude boob job, nice face, cute girl. Great on the mic, really. Easily the best woman's talker, but in the ring, very average, I think. Very average. I mean, slightly, she's better than most of them. Most of them aren't that good. But I don't think it warrants the push she's been getting. It's like, it's too much. Can you give this to someone else? Please spread it around. There's other girls who are just as good as her. I would have just given this to Natalya, really. Have Natalya screw Ronda, then Ronda, Natalya, SummerSlam. They'll probably do that anyway. They'll probably get to that later, but I don't need to see Bliss as champ ever again. So I didn't watch Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal. I know the fans chanted CM Punk and everything. I did not watch it. I have nothing to say about it, and that's it. So, Carmella and Asuka, match sucked. James Ellsworth returns. Asuka's dead. May as well just bury Asuka. She's not, the only thing I can say about Asuka is, I mean, if she's not as buried as bad as Bayley, it's a success because she is going down. They sacrificed Asuka for Charlotte at WrestleMania to build up to Ronda for the next year. That's their big main event for WrestleMania 35. And then they also sacrificed Asuka to get Carmella over and to get heat on Carmella and Ellsworth. Great heat for Ellsworth, great heat for Carmella. That's all they care about was heat, heat, heat. They love their blonde girls. They're always pushing those blondes. They love their Carmellas and their Alexa Blisses and their Ronda Rouseys and their Charlottes and their Lanas. That's who they're going to push. So, it is what it is. It's fine. I mean, I think Ellsworth sucks. I don't think he should be employed, to be honest. That's my opinion. I don't think he should have a job there. I just think the guy's fucking garbage. I know people like him. He's a nice guy, I've never met him, but I've heard from a lot of people. He's a really nice guy. So I'm happy for him he has a job. It's just, I don't think he should be getting this kind of attention on TV anymore. I think the Ellsworth, they're using Ellsworth just to get Carmella over. He draws heat, and the fans didn't give a fuck. She got no heat when she came out as champ. Asuka is dead. You can call Asuka's career over. I don't care what anyone says. Look what they're doing at Nakamura. Exactly what's going to happen with Asuka. So Asuka, I mean, she's not as charismatic as Nakamura anyway. Nakamura will probably still be pushed because I don't think they want him to go back to New Japan, which he probably will. And speaking of that, we'll get to that next. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, WWE Championship, last man standing. The first half was boring. I'm thinking to myself, man, they fucked this up. How can they make this feud this boring? And then the match exploded. It got really, really good. They built up. It's just like they did such a bad job of booking. It was kind of too late for me. I kind of zoned out for a lot of this match. I wasn't paying much attention, but it still ended up being a really good match. And I would even say kind of great, easily the best match I've had in WWE. Nowhere close to the New Japan match at the Wrestle Kingdom show, but certainly better than WrestleMania, and certainly better than Greatest Rumble and Backlash and the SmackDown match. Blew all those matches out of the water combined. Just far better. It's a match they probably always should have had. And they couldn't have had this kind of match at WrestleMania because the feud was starting, but this is the kind of match people were kind of hoping for. So they finally did have at least one great match. AJ Styles retains. I'm sick of AJ as champ. I love AJ. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. I am sick of seeing him as champ. I don't want to see him pushed. I'm sick of who WWE is pushing. I'm sick of Roman Reigns. I'm sick of AJ Styles. I'm sick of Alexa Bliss. I'm bored with who they're pushing to the moon. Brock Lesnar. I don't even want to get into that controversy anymore. I don't even want to talk about him anymore. I don't even want to say his name. I'm so fucking sick of hearing he's the fucking champion. Anyway, I'm just so sick of who they're just pushing, and it's like, I want to see Nakamura get a run. It's like Vince will never point him. I hate playing the race card, because I hate, people who always want to play the race card for every fucking thing, but I'm thinking to myself, Nakamura and Asuka were super over at the beginning of the year. They both won the Royal Rumble, and they both, have lost every pay-per-view since. It's like, why aren't they getting a title shots? It'd be fine for them to have a run as champ. I thought they both should have gotten the belts at WrestleMania. I thought you could have had them if they didn't work out. I mean, I understand the English barrier is a big thing. So if they can't speak English and their English is not good, and it's like they can't cut the long promos, that's why. It's like, it is because, it's not because they're Asians, it's because of the English barrier. And that's what Vince thinks. I think they can still make it work easily, but Asuka is dead, and Nakamura will so soon be in the mid-card. He'll probably feud with Daniel Bryan. They'll probably have some good match. Maybe they can even have him feud over the U.S. title. I think they're going to get the belt off Jeff Hardy. My prediction is Nakamura beats Jeff Hardy to win the U.S. title. I think that's the destination for Nakamura. And maybe he feuds with Daniel Bryan or something, but Nakamura is done in the main event. AJ goes on. He's the cover guy for the WWE, so I knew he was going to win. The last spot was great. They did a lot of cool stuff here. They did the low blow spot, AJ getting revenge. They did the phenomenal form through the announce set. We had a lot of holy shit spots. They had a table spot. So you have tables on the show, chairs, ladders, steps, all the weapons we saw in Gargano Ciampa last night. Seeing everything in Chicago. Every fucking weapon possible has been used this weekend. But AJ's retaining. Then we get to Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax. They had a good match. Ronda Rousey is great in the ring. I've never been a huge fan of Ronda. I've never liked her in the UFC that much. I didn't like her attitude. I thought she was a bitch. I didn't like the way I thought she was disrespectful to a lot of her opponents after the fights, which I was never a huge fan of. So I was never a big Ronda fan in the UFC, but she was a great athlete, and she comes here and she is a great athlete. She's transitioned so well. I'd compare her to Kurt Angle. I mean, now the one thing I will say about Ronda, she rehearses all her matches, so I'm sure her and Nia were in Orlando rehearsing this match for like the last 6 weeks. I'm 100% sure of that. That's what they have to do. And I knew she rehearsed the WrestleMania match for 5 months, but she did well here. Nia destroyed her to start the match, and then Ronda gets some offense in, and it looks like Ronda's going to get the submission. It's going to be over. Crowd's going nuts. Ronda was super over. She looked exhausted here. She was gassed. She was breathing heavy, but I mean, this was the best performance Nia Jax has ever had. Nia Jax was awesome here. It's hard for me to even praise the woman anymore. This whole women's revolution, it's not a revolution. It's fucking pathetic. You have to fucking rehearse your matches for 3 months, and the fucking guys don't even rehearse their matches. Some guys don't even talk. It's like they just go out there and work. The men are going out there and working. Women have to rehearse their matches for 3 months to have a good fucking match on pay-per-view. That's what they have to do. That's what they did in NXT. All those NXT matches, they rehearsed them for 3 months, and that's why you're seeing so many of the women are floundering unless your name's Alexa Bliss and you're hot and blonde and you get pushed to the moon. Everyone else, all the other women, Bayley, Asuka, Sasha, Becky, they're not doing as well because they're not having those great matches because they can't rehearse them for 6 weeks or 6 months. Alexa comes in, screws Ronda, beats her down with the briefcase, beats up Nia with the briefcase, cashes in, wins a title. So I'm happy we don't have to see her run around with the briefcase for like 9 months like we did with Carmella, but it's like the whole hot blonde girl with the big tits and the nice ass with like the surgeries. I don't think Alexa's had as many surgeries as Carmella. But it's like, that's what Vince wants. He wants those blondes. I think Natalya should have gotten this spot. I think she would have fit perfectly and gotten a lot more heat. I think she could have used it better. But I mean, Vince loves Bliss, and have Ronda Rousey, this former UFC fighter with like a 12-2 record, is fucking beating girls in 14 seconds and 16 seconds, and you're gonna have her face this 4'10" girl and Alexa Bliss in that SummerSlam match. That's the match that's gonna be at SummerSlam. It's obvious. Alexa's gonna dominate like 70% of the match, and then Ronda's gonna slap in the armbar and win a 15-minute match. You know that's what Vince is gonna do. It's like, it's gonna be a typical WWE match. It's like all they care about is this 4'10" girl with this. I mean, I don't know who she's sleeping with, but someone in the back has her back. Someone in the back has Alexa Bliss's back. No pun intended. Literally and figuratively, because I don't know who she's fucking, but Jesus Christ, forget this. She's getting the Roman Reigns push. Alexa Bliss is if we hate Roman Reigns because of the push he gets, you have to hate Alexa Bliss. Even though Alexa Bliss is 100 times better on the mic than Reigns is, if you're gonna hate Reigns so much, you kind of have to hate Bliss too. I don't hate Bliss, but this fucking push is absolutely fucking bullshit. This is fucking out of hand. This is out of control. This is not normal. I mean, she has to be doing something. And there was rumors. Yeah, I don't want to even get it personal with her. I've heard, Alexis Kaufman's a very sweet girl, but man, I don't know. This push is just insane. It's too much. Fuck. So Money in the Bank ladder match was the main event. This wasn't a very long match as you expect. Strowman got the win. This was a 4-hour show. So they all ganged up on Strowman. They all threw ladders on him. So I mean myself, is Strowman going to win this? Maybe he is. I thought they'd have one Raw and one SmackDown, but then when Bliss won so quickly, it's like, okay, it doesn't really matter because she's not going to run around with the briefcase. It doesn't really matter. They went with Strowman. The big spot was him throwing Kevin Owens off the top of a ladder through 2 tables. They teased a big table spot, then he threw him off through 2 tables. He ran into a ladder, which was awesome. He destroyed guys. This match wasn't that good. It wasn't a great ladder match. I've seen better Money in the Bank matches. Far better ones, but it was fine main event. I mean, I was kind of tired watching it. The crowd was great throughout the whole show. I was tired watching it, but Strowman gets the win. He wins Money in the Bank. Strowman and Lesnar, they were mentioning the announcers mentioned Brock Lesnar so much. It's obviously that's where they're going. We have our 2 major SummerSlam matches: Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, Ronda Rousey, Alexa Bliss. It's obvious that's what they want to do, and I think Braun is gonna for sure get the shot. I don't think it's Reigns, another it's Brock and Braun. It's Strowman. It has to be the way they've hyped it up. I think he takes out Lesnar at SummerSlam. He's going to be the guy. He beats Brock at SummerSlam. I would have just had him. I think WWE should be slapped in the face. I think Vince McMahon is just so out of touch. He's so fucking stupid. I'm disappointed it's going to happen at SummerSlam. I've said it since last year when I started making videos. Braun Strowman should have beaten Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34. He should have won the Elimination Chamber. He should have faced Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and won the title. At SummerSlam, it's still a cool moment. It's not the same as WrestleMania. He should have gotten that big, Austin beating Michaels at Mania, and the Austin era has begun, just like the Braun era should have begun. He was more over during WrestleMania time that season than he was right now, and he's very over still, but he wasn't as hot as he was. It was the perfect time, and they went with Reigns and they fucked it up. It's like Braun should have beaten Brock at WrestleMania. The last time I'm gonna say it, it's fucking bullshit. He should have won that title at WrestleMania. But this show was a good show. I mean, I hated the booking. Besides the main event, I did not care for most of the booking. I got most of it right, which is sad on predictions, but the booking was not good. But the show had a lot of really quality matches.